그래서 안을 담보인다. 그래서 동바된 중부터 또 왔어야 돼. 아니. 그래서 저 지랍다.
denjungdang is denjungdang denjung konzo demba marves chetsan di toni gi namrang kanisi yores di namrang ina dini denjung dundam demba gyogir ves
다들 주카카면 도와 동니 당 장신지 동바서 카가리是吧 장신지 동바 동니 레데 장신지 동바서라 군도 담바 장신지 동바레 땡중 장신지 동바레 是吧 땡중 장신지 동바 이나에 땡중 단단데마 말레 是吧 그래서 장신지 동바 이나 단단데마다 장신 동바니 미게 남라 말레 是吧 치단 난그我越当没 강가 라신 동바를 마도 라신 동바 지요 말에 마동바 是吧 인상 땡중 라신지 동바를 데 전난데마 말에 라신지 동바 랑도데 전난데마를 데 라신 동바 이나 전난데마 임베 거고 말에 하고 데 추하다 가면도 어야
랑도 스나
라신 동바 스나 또데 잡아 전난다 라신 동바 전난데마 체 是吧 但有让心的东巴人的特能的嘛嘛的但有让心东巴让心的嘛主是吧 其当我看着是那让心的东巴嘛的要嘛的
So then being empty of essence empty of essence and emptiness are not identical. So dependent originations, inner and outer things which are dependently originated, everything is empty of essence, but that doesn't entail that everything is emptiness. 그래서 랑신기 동바
랑신지 동바 돈이 레데 랑신지 동바 이나 돈이 인고고 말에 랑신지 동바 스나 돈이래
So being empty of essence is emptiness, but something being empty of essence does not have to be emptiness. So something being empty of essence doesn't entail that it is emptiness. So all inner and outer things are empty of essence, but they are not emptiness.
가서 동바 된중고 저도 또 와네 아니 가와 우마와라 이시가라 우마와라 아니 랑신지 동바 아니 가서 농을 송뒤자라 고타중 콘도 시와 나신 체니 아니 동바 로유도 차르기 와래 是吧 是吧
동바
저도 저치 제마티 저 제마티
제마
저 니도 왔다 지 그래서
denjung konzo demba konzo
tintarche
tintar deni
denjung 구조 demba 이나양 是吧 denjung den데 군조 demba레 랑신지 동바레 랑신지 동바 이나양 전단데마 말에 군조 dem바레 전단데마 가바레데 랑신지 동바당 전단데마 가와 말에 군조 dem바 가와 말에
So, 양가 랑싱이 동바
랑신지 동바다 군조 대바 가와 마레스 전남 대바다 군조 대바 가와레스
So something being empty of essence and something being empty of essence does not contradict it being emptiness. That is, something can be emptiness and be empty of essence, but something being a phenomenal truth is contradictory to it being an emptiness or being emptiness. Did I get that?
How close? Yeah.
랑싱이 동바이 임바.
랑신지 동바 군조 덴바데 랑신지 동바레 마레스나 랑신지 동바레 치당원 뭐 간지이나 랑신지 동바인 스타야 다 쇼이 주송한데
So something being empty of essence, all inner and outer things are empty of essence. Yeah.
자와시를 룹자가 그들이 지나나고 뭐 탐자 랑신지 동바인 쓰고래.
So all of the things that are proved in this basic text on wisdom is establishing that all inner and outer things are empty of essence. So even so phenomenal truths are empty of essence. So, but the fact that phenomenal truths are empty of essence does not entail that they are ultimate truths, ultimate truth, or are emptiness. So therefore, dependent origination being empty does not entail that it is ultimate truth, that it is emptiness.
Oh, yeah.
So they're not synonyms. Part of the assumption in the first question is that
this denjingtawa junga continue tomba nitu she.
랑신이 동바인도 셰.
랑신이 tomba.
돈이 인스 때지 돈이 인스고 말이 랑신이 동바니도 셰스고 말도.
랑신이 tomba. So then in the verse there where it says that we call dependent origination emptiness, that means that dependent originations are empty, but it doesn't mean that they are actually emptiness.
Oh yeah. 고소.
actually the text doesn't say emptiness, it says empty, but people translate it as emptiness, I think, right?
No, that's the other verse that where it says it's 24. No, didn't you? No, I think I'm wrong. 18. Yeah.
거래.
딘징저와 중국 강대니 통반이
딘징저와 중국 강대니 동반이도 셰.
두셰. It's verse 18. That which is
내도가 숨제 주되라.
310 in the Tibetan.
내도가 숨제 주되라. 딘징저와 중국 강대니 동반이도 셰. 코자기 규제라 때네 딘징저와 중국 강인바 되니 랑신지 계배 동비 되니도 셰도. 랑신지 동비 되니 랑신 동비 되네 랑신지 마주어와 이래 말도 땡중 랑 동이 인스라 그 말데 배적고랑 손도.
So here the commentary explains this, saying that we say it has to be accepted. This line of the text has to be accepted as we explain it, which is that whatever arises dependent upon causes and conditions has the very meaning of being empty, of having arisen by means of essence.
Yeah. So
it's clear in that line in the commentary there.
So where the text says Deni Tompa Nidu She, it should be the Tompanation could be understood as explained as just empty rather than emptiness.
Deni Tompa Nidu She, so the
동반이지 되니도 셰.
it has having
랑신지 동비 되니도 랑신의 기회 동비 되니도 셰.
So the commentary breaks that the tompani, the emptiness, and glosses it as saying that it has the very meaning of being empty. Therefore, dependent origination has the meaning of being empty, of originating or being having arisen by essence.
我去那那个我tham家让心动比团的，
Have as their meaning.
让心动比团的，
So all inner and outer things are objects that are empty of being empty of essence.
我呀，他让心动比团了，当你用过嘛的，
Dunsana di yul
让心动吧，
rangshin tomba. Di dunsa with the
让心动吧的，是吧？那多的。
di yul jagrwa ya dunsa with
其他那个我看着伊那样，让心就马街比团的，让心就马街吧的，是个的，让心就动吧的，是个的。
So yeah, here I think that dun, the word object, can be translated as either meaning or object. So it probably dun sana rangshingi tombe
让心动吧的，是个的，
rangshin
那多
tombe.
的。
It means that they are empty of essence.
让心动比有，让心动比缺，现在这个的。
So you could say they're objects that are empty of essence. They're phenomena that are empty of essence.
但是这个对。
Oh yeah. It's another question. Oh, that was the same question. Same question.
那么对，哦呀，
Ale, that's Ale. The emptiness dawning as the meaning of dependent arising, and dependent arising dawning as the meaning of emptiness. Dindo lamso namsumla dindal gidun Tony dindal gidun du shawatang. Tony dindal gidun du shawa. Sharwa. Yeah. Do you have the Tibetan text there of that verse? Oh, it's not in that. Dawning, sharwa.
Tony number 小。
Tony dindagi dun du sharwa.
等这个吞的下嘛，王八等这吞的下。
Dinger jun and dang dindal tongbe dun du sharwa.
等这东北吞的下哇，但等东北等这个吞的下哇，是吧？他太重要了，是吧？是吧？他说的，等些话给让王出吧的，先了对我去，等些吧的，先了对我一张，让王的出吧的干个我的意思，是吧？让王的出吧。
So the part of dependent origination, which is the dependent part of the compound, it's two parts of the word, is the word dependent indicates
다다 세고래요. 때 세와 라완도 추와데 까교와 인다 따다가유 가나 동비텐 샤르고 동발로라 샤고.
So the dependent part of the compound, dependent origination, clears away the extreme of permanence or eternalism, and gets rid of that extreme. So it eliminates the also the something being established by means of its essence. So the arising portion of that clears away the extreme of non-existence, because things originate based upon their causes and conditions, and that then 딘덕이 둔두셔.
주제나做了对吧？
You cannot.
马对주제나做了马对把的去把印章，马对把的嘎把印章东北，但是东北村的下个话的。
So that by clearing away that extreme of non-existence, being annihilated, because things arise dependent upon various causes and conditions, all of these conventions of causes and conditions, then that appears then with the dependent origination having the meaning of being empty.
같이 코란 집어라잖아. 근데 집어 코란기 또비 로티기 아니 다시 그 탄이 세와라잖아. 근데 시야. 그러와 다 대마인 바 라시메 바 로유도 상와기 아니 양 가르소래. 대치 간소래 메타사야. 근데 로유도 사와기 여다사야. 로니라잖아. 두세.
로니라잖아.
로니체. 그러와 tenri ki ta la khansa rangshi me ba teme de tubu na tenri ki ta la junzen la tene ane teme tubu di tamba rangshi me ba lo yu de song yin ka rangshi ji me xie tene me ba ma yin ba yo ba de tene me ba ma yin ba yo ba tene me zhuo ba yin zang me ta se che
me ta se
ba rangshi me na me gui we me ta se.
So if one uses dependent origination as the reason for establishing that things are empty of existing by means of essence, then that absence of essence, establishing that they don't have an essence, clears away also the extreme of there being that clears away the extreme of their being non-existent because they don't exist by means of essence. So that there, the empty part of the empty part that is established, clears away the their being non-existent, and then did I mess that up? Did I just invert that? I did. So when the dependent origination appears to the mind, when it appears as an object for the mind, then that clears away the extreme of things being existent because they exist by means of, they only exist in dependence upon their causes and conditions. They depend upon causes and conditions for their existence. So they can't exist by means of some kind of essence, being established by means of an essence.
Oh yeah, that tajundini inda. Sanjedan chedan kunjo yoba me banangari shaba shachoda. Chuji sanje chanju la maden bayan tawa churu said. Kadi chuji dana sanje shewa gashi sanje rangshin ji yena. Ane rangshin ji chua yena, ta dema chua yogorwa. Yena ni chanju je tamje chimbi yishi. 장주 대 탐제 침비 이시라 마덴바데 마데와 주제 산제데 탐제 침비 이시 토발라 마덴바데 마데와 주제 라신지 주발라 유전선을 되와데 가와레 시와 마대와 주대 라신단의 쨈면다 현라 되와 매바에 예수님으로 라신이나 라신이 좀나 아니 현라 되와 매바 중고래 그래서
So then the next verse, the first part of 31, I think this says that for you, a Buddha would exist without depending upon awakening. And the commentary here says that if, according to your view, there was some sort of Buddha that exists by means of its essence, then without depending, that Buddha would exist without depending upon the omniscient gnosis, without depending upon awakening, which is the gnosis of omniscience. So it would not have to depend or rely upon that awakening, which is the omniscient gnosis, for it to occur. And then, and the reason it's given here is that essence is something which is not fabricated and it does not depend upon another.
하여튼이 최지 상제 창조란 마단 방향 타와 주로 가디 대신도 아니 최지 탐제 준비 예시장 상제라 마단바데 아니 마대와 때문에 타와 주대 And
just like that, similarly for you, awakening would exist without depending upon a Buddha. And the commentary explains that similarly, for you, the awakening, which is the omniscient gnosis, also would exist without depending upon a Buddha, without relying upon there being a Buddha, because it exists by means of its essence, or it's established by its essence.
자장 장주 통면주로 세야돼 최지 라신 예진이 시향양 최지 따나 상제빈 아로데 상마제빈 아로 지바르와 상제빈 아로투 아니 상제 마인바기 아니 샘쟁기라바 상제 마인비기 ngo로세 아니 상제 마인비 ngo로 내와데 라신 지투위 내외 카사티세 semjian rangxin ji zhuwei nai kasa ti tenza wei semjian ti rangxin ji zhuwei semjian ti lana mebe changju tobi chidu ani changju sembi jeba la ani bezuo qianyang changju toba menju de rangxin tenza wala nayang toba mebe chiru da semjian ki changju tobi chidu nai wei ani sanje mayin bi semjian ki rangxin de la So then
the next verse says, for you, because of it being established by essence, one who is a non-Buddha would, even if they strive, if they make effort for awakening by engaging in the practices of awakening, then they will never obtain awakening. And the commentary explains that, moreover, according to your position here, in your view, a person who exists by its very essence, within having a nature of being unawakened prior to becoming a Buddha, such a person as that, even if they strive at the conduct, make effort at striving at the conduct of the bodhisattvas in order to achieve awakening, they will never be able to obtain awakening. And the reason that's given for this is that one is never separated from such an essence. This essence here refers to existing, being established by means of some kind of innate, intrinsic existence or essence.
Oh yeah, that digi, that shiwa, cheba boda lendre miruma ni, 是吧？想要让心去做吧，开了那是，
So then this leads into the fourth subdivision of this section of the text, which says that that agents' actions and their results would also become unfitting or unviable. So it says, moreover, if one accepts that things are established by means of their essence.
对了，这样确当全面了，那样确把满足的是，看啥这样，你去给我谈，去没人吧，没给我那样确把满足的是，你这样确当全面了，那样确把满足的是。
So the verse reads that a person will never do dharma or non-dharma. And commentary explains that no person at all, or no person whatsoever, will perform dharma, which is virtuous, or non-dharma, which is non-virtuous.
没懂我了，继续讲，让心了你瞧没谁干了，让心去越白没懂罢了，你让心去出吧，但把出吧英国的。让心去越把那等把做完了，瞧我继续越的，让心去越把那瞧我没得不起，瞧我瞧我没得不起。
The root text then says, "What is to be done for the non-empty? Essence does not act." And the commentary explains that something which is not empty because it exists by means of its essence. What sort of action could that have? Something, it's completely inappropriate for something that exists by means of its essence to act.
这不让心去把慢拿，现这不让心去把慢拿，让心去把麻我们的拿，是吧？确当全面没把样，谁干了？去给我当，去没人把，没给我钱我没把，是马钱把那样，听你去举荐去是就给我当，就没给去去给我就给我钱，去没人把，就没给我钱，给没给就钱我没把样，给我当没给为。举荐机是那这部了可过的，这部举荐机这部一多我的没有我吃了也不出的，让心机住呢，举荐先了对过嘛的，人当给予这部对我的就给我了，没对我也穷我当，没给予这部东我的就没给我了，没对我穷苦的，是吧？
So, moreover, if if someone says that results exist by means of essence, then the root text says you would have a result without dharma and non-dharma. And the commentary explains that even without performing dharma and non-dharma, dharma referring to virtuous kinds of activities, non-dharma referring to non-virtuous kinds of activities, then one would have, for such a person, there would be results of those two, results that are caused by those two, meaning desirable and undesirable sorts of results. Suffering, happiness and suffering would arise without for such a person.
而且，那等你太大了，这部太大个程度，这部没呢，这部太大个程度来些把他们都举完，现在了，确当全民究竟为这部吃了要嘛赢，是吧？去给我当，去没给我，没给允许穷人，你给我当没给为这部你来，这部你来你千万没把样吃了要把嘛赢了。 来给为来当，没给为来你千万别把样吃了要把嘛赢了。
So, and if that's the case, then performing actions, the two kinds of actions for those two results would become pointless. there would be no purpose in performing those kinds of actions. The root text says, because that's so, the root text says, you would not have the result that is caused by dharma and non-dharma. So the two kinds of results which are caused by dharma and non-dharma, even without performing the actions which virtuous and non-virtuous actions which give rise to those results, you would So then the two kinds of results which are caused by dharma and non-dharma, even without performing the actions of, or without performing the virtuous and non-virtuous kinds of actions, karma, you would not have them.
Oh yeah. That chedan chemin gi jongwi debu kade chela ye sena kade gewa da megi wi debu niwo de ani du che gewa dang du chemin ba megi wi gi ani dewa da dunga niwo de ju teni gi jongwa ani chela ye na ni wa debu niwo de chela ye na ni tenja wi dewe debu dewa dang Miki Vitabu Dungani de Chi Rashi Tomba Mai Sheva de Rashi Tomba Re, Julechuna de Rashi Tongo Gre, Rashi Mitomba Mai de Rashi Tongo Gre. Yeah.
So then, if the results caused by dharma and dharma exist for you, that's the root text. It says that if those two kinds of results, happiness and suffering, which are caused by dharma and non-dharma, virtuous and non-virtuous sorts of actions, if those exist for you, then why would you say, with respect to those two kinds of results, happiness and suffering, that they're not empty of being established by their own essence? They are empty of being established by means of they're empty of essence. So why is it that you're saying that they are empty? They're not empty of being established by means of their own essence.
Oh yeah, tomba mayin shewa de tomba yindes. Ani chedan chimi le jumi dewu ji ji tomba yin sai de la ta chedan chimi le jumi sai de. Oi, dewu edu ni wo de dunga dang dewa ni wo de du gewi che ju che gewa dang che mayin ba le jumi dan de yin bi che dewu edu ni wo de dan de yin bi che. Dan de yin zang su nian che xin ji ma zhu dang che xin ji tomba na xin. 切心都那样切心就当把拿心，我这不得到你我一台长啊，让心去马主进度，让心去让那样让心去做，那样让心去做当把的。
So, why would you say that those results, happiness and suffering, are not empty of being existing by means of their own essence? They are empty of being existing by means of their own essence. And the reason for that being so is that they are dependent originations that arise from dharma and non-dharma. From virtue and non-virtue, suffering arises, and suffering and happiness and suffering arises. So therefore, they're dependently originated from their causes, and they're like a reflection. Just like the reflection of a face in a mirror, it appears as if it's a real face existing from its own side, but it is not a real face existing from its own side. It arises from as a reflection La Gendi Zugnin Shin.
중에 최신 그 중에 최신도 나양 최신 그 동바 나신. 그러와 최다 대우 대도 니오 대양 라신지 출바 나양 라신지 출베 동바래.
So just as the face appears in the mirror as if it was a real face, it appears that way, but it's empty of being a real face. Similarly, things like happiness and suffering appear as if they're real, as if they are, as if they exist by means of their own essence, but they're not. They're empty of being a real, of being the way they appear as existing by means of their own essence.
다 뒤제라 뭐가 지된 비타냐 미롱아니 친한 거 오와나면 다 라신지 좋아 만나니 오와 라신지 좋아 만나 다 땡진저와 중앙이 동반이라 내제 강 땡제 라신지 좋아 되나 아니 땡제 동반이라 내바쳐봐래 쓰고래 그러와 땡진저와 중앙이 동반이라 내제 강 그래서
So the fifth subject here is that showing how the worldly conventions would become unfit or would not work. Here, someone who emptiness, the emptiness which is dependent origination. One who, so the root text here says, one who rejects the emptiness of dependent origination.
내가 쳐봐이나 대다 쳐봐라 아니 내가 쳐봐이나 세체 지된바이 타냐니 꾸라 내가 쳐봐인 사디 다 땡제 라신지 주바디 야나 아니 땡진저와 중앙이 동반이라 내가 쳐봐이나 라신이 동반라 내가 쳐봐 강인이 강인바 되기 아니 지된비 타냐 강가 매고래 서 송시 대시 두지 겨와라 소비 지된 그 타냐 라신지 동나 지된 그 타냐 강가 매고 그래 라신과 라신이 동발 내바 챘어라 라신이 동발 내바 챘나 라신이 동발 마고래 돈이 많이 고 라신이 마 동발 많이 고 그래 라신이 동발 많이나 아니 지된 그 타냐 태그 말에 소시 통시도 해시세 타냐 태그 말에
So one who rejects the emptiness of dependent origination rejects all worldly conventions. So somebody who rejects the emptiness of dependent origination, saying that things are not empty but are exist by means of their own essence, then someone who does that is rejecting all the different worldly conventions, such as these statements of, such as the words go, do, look, sit. All of these worldly conventions are rejected if one rejects the, all of those worldly conventions become non-existent if one rejects the emptiness which is of dependent origination.
Oh yeah. 东半年了，那些那乔讲没出去，想想，那我那让先去出外东半年了，那把钱呢？大让先去出国了吧？那把钱呢？提着让先去出外，你让先去出外，你马先讲，有点钱马先讲越过过来是越白，虽讲瞧吧，有点个钱马先了马对吧越过过来是。 대인 자 수의장 쳐봐 지양 쳐봐 봐 주로 쳐봐 지양 쳐봐 봐 주로.
So if one rejects emptiness, there would be nothing to be done. So this is explained as meaning that moreover, things if you reject that things are empty, you reject the emptiness of things being established by means of their own essence. That means if you reject that kind of emptiness, you're saying that things must be exist by means of essence. They must be established by their own essence. Then at that time, things which are established by means of essence, since they exist, even if they're not made, then no one would do any kind of activity at all.
다더니 좀바 매바 차와 좀 매제 방향 제발 주로 세가나 다 랑신지 추에 동반이라 너바 제대 랑신지 추와 되고이나 랑신지 추와 되고이나 안에 차와데 좀바보 매바데 차와 좀바보 매바데 차와데 제발라 좀바보 매고래 차와 최신 방향 최신바 마인 방향 아니 좀바보 매바데 차와 최신바 마인바 차와를 주고래 차와 대체바디 규정현라 마되바 랑신지 주바이나 규정현라 마되바 인상 아니 좀바보데 차와 최신바 마인바양 아니 차와를 규라 차와 지양 미시바태양 아니 제바보 규데 규정현라 마되 또 미되바 인상 랑신지 주바나 규정현라 마되바래
규진 라마트바.
랑신지 주바 인상 좀바보 매바데 최신바 마인바양 저와 최신바 마인바나 저와 주고래 저와 제발로 규정현라 되현라 되면고 저와 지양 미시바태양 안에 제바보 주고래 와 규정현라 뭐 제바보 주나 태양 미리베 오나 랑신지 미동바 마인노 랑신지 동바래
So if that was the case, if things existed by means of their essence, then without anyone initiating actions, without an agent making an action take place, without someone beginning the action, and without the activity even taking place, then the activity would occur. Without anyone doing any action at all, there would be agents. Agents would exist, and since that is incorrect, things are not empty of being established by means of their essence.
Oh yeah, 대체 다 되니? 라시연난 좋아나 마제바다 마가탕 세데 想确能 안에 라신지연나 안에 좋아는 마제바다 마가와 주대스 라시연난 좋아나 마제바다 마가탕 세 친한그确能 라신지 여바데이나 안에 좋아는 규제람 라신지연나 규제람 마대고래 규제람 마대바담 좋아는 아니 규제나 가서 마제바인 거래 마제바다 아니 마가바야 주대 랑신 쩌마 마인바다 나면 쩌마 마인바다 나야 도바 메비 싫어
So above, then all of these actions, activities taking place that were not initiated would occur if things existed by means of their essence. But because things exist in dependence upon other causes and conditions other than themselves, therefore all of these consequences are incorrect. And it is not the case that things are not empty of being established by means of their own essence. And then the next verse says that if essence exists, the migrating beings of the world would be unborn and unceased. And the commentary says, moreover, if phenomena existed by means of essence, if they existed without depending upon causes and conditions for their existence, then the migrating beings within the world would become unborn and unceased. They would never be born and never be ceased. The reason for this is that essence is unfabricated, and it is that from which a thing is never separated.
군족의 최대다 라시 주면 덴바 인고 인상 라시 점마 많이 봐 말이 저와 덴바 점마 많이 봤어 rāngshīn jēmā kunzu dēmbā tētā dēmbā yīnā rāngshīn jēmā mā yīmbā yīngu rē
랑신기 주마마이.
rāngshīn jēmā mā yīmbā yīngu rē kunzu dēmbā tētā dēmbā yīnā tōñi yīngu rwa
So with regard to phenomenal truth is said to be unfabricated because it's not fabricated or sort of created by essence. It's not fabricated by an essence.
야 tōñi tāwu rāngshīn jēmā mā yīmbā rwa tōñi tāwu rāngshīn jēmā mā yīmbā 야 tōñi rā khuya chīgā yīgā rē rāngshīn jēmā mā yīmbā
Then we can also, so we would say that phenomenal things are not fabricated. They have their essence is not fabricated, in that they don't. They're not fabricated by an essence. They don't have an essence which is created or fabricated. The emptiness, we can say, is
rāngshīn jēmā mā yīmbā
Rāngshīn jēmā mā yīmbā.
jēmī ku rāngshīn tātū tē dēmbā yīnzāng rwa rāngshīn tātū dēmbā yīnzāng rāngshīn jēmī
And then we can read this another way and say, and take, instead of essence as the meaning of this first word, we can take it as nature. And we can say that emptiness is the unfabricated nature, in that it's the ultimate or final nature of things. Rāngshīn tātū.
rāngshīn dēmbā yīnzāng
Rāngshīn dēmbā yīnzāng.
kōrāng kō ngō dēmbā yīnzāng
Because this nature of emptiness is real, is true, it's the unfabricated nature.
tēndē tēpē nāngā rāngshīn jēmī tēmē tāng tēndē tētāng jēmā nī sīkduwa rāngshīn jēmī tēmē tāng sī kārā sāmo tōngpā nē jē rāngshīn jēwā mā yīmbā jē tāng gyūjēn shēnā mā tēpā rē tēndē tētāng jēmā nī sī kārā anī tēnjī tēpā jēwā ngō bā tētā gyūjēn gu jēwā tāng 아니 저마래 주전그 저와당 주전의 저와 댄저 주전 현라 저와당 주전 현지 저와래是一个了댄저 저당 저반이 들어봐 들어봐 당신 주민 때문에 댄저 저당 저반이
Rāngshīn 주민
때문에 당 동반이는 쓰고
So this is explained in the praise to dependent origination, where it says that nature or essence is not fabricated and doesn't depend on another. This can be applied with the first word, instead of reading it as essence, taking it as meaning nature. It has both meanings, both connotations. So one can read that word as nature and say that emptiness is the nature which is not fabricated and doesn't depend upon another.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Again, Rāngshīn 주민
rāngshīn 주민 때문에
주민당 이 댄저
저반이
댄저
저반이
댄저 주당 주
댄저디 주전 현라 저바다 주전 현지 저반이
So if we take it as referring to dependent origination, then we say that dependent origination is not fabricated by an essence, and it depends upon another. Did you follow that last bit? Rāngshīn 주민
rāngshīn 주민 때문에 대당 저반이 동반이에 아니 rāngshīn 주민에 규정 현라 맞대바래
So emptiness is not fabricated and doesn't depend upon another. Dindal Rāngshīn dindala.
댄저디 규정 현지 저와
So
규정 현라 저와 댄저 군조로와 규정을 지을 댄저 쓰고래
So dependent origination, on the other hand, is fabricated because it depends upon other things. It depends upon causes and conditions for it to arise.
오야다 도마 며칠에서 마제시 마가나 스타 마제시 마가나 필수도 내가 주신 그러나 처음 라시지나 도나 마제바다 마가바 주그레스와 그래서 처나라 탄다 따라 쳐라 처음 라시지나 아니 도나 마제바다 마가바 주그라시지나 덴바 주그레 도와 덴바 도나 도나 마제바다 마가바 주그레 스라와 근데 라시지마 많이 바다 아니 나면 도바 메메치로 아테나 마제바다 마가나 티수도네 내주신 다 뒤다도 내고래 와 뒤다도 내고래 아마 뒤수 내와 마세 치미 뒤수야 내고 그래서 티수도네 내주신 내가 나서 trawa 줄 좋아나 티수도 내와 주와당 주견라 마데바남 마데베 좋아나 내가 나서만 남당 trawa 주그래
So, if phenomena were not originated, had not arisen, and were not ceased, if they were unborn and unceased, that is, if an essence, if something essentially existed, such as migrating beings, then because they wouldn't be born and they would be unborn and unceased, then they would necessarily become unchangeable and devoid of varying conditions. So unchangeable means that they would be from the distant past, from the very beginning. They would be in a fixed kind of state, and into the future as well, into the limitless future. They would be fixed in that unchanging state. And likewise, they would be devoid, and similarly devoid of having varying sorts of conditions. There would be no differentiation in the states that they would exist in.
Oh yeah, that's it. 지가도 좀 된대지. 미동 중세 연나니 미동 중세 연나 자와이 가야 론데 미슨 주메바 두가 메바 가세 라신지 미동비 被学中世纪元呐，学中世纪元呐，这这样龙的没送嘛，是吧？没到嘛中世纪元呐，然后没到嘛中世纪元呐呢，叫我那么这样龙的没送嘛，安尼他就话没吧，只能就话没吧，然后就中呢就话没吧，然后给我了。태수도 내와 서가 아마 답답비티당 아마 아미티 타다라 내와 대라 아니 내고 그래 된저와 대라 폐와 샤바당 용수냠바 주바지 라시 주바래 아니 폐와 샤바당 용수냠바 요아 말에 그래서
So this was taught by the Buddha, where he said that if there was anything that's not empty, if there was anything not empty, the victor would not state a prophecy for someone. And without modification occurring, without things being modified, individuals' conditions would become unchangeable. For such a person, there could be no improvement and no degeneration.
나한테 람보제 따지 돌래장 가대천은 라신가요나 자와냐한테 제외 대천주로 가대 친한 그 오버나라 라시지 주바 가요나 좀 된데 년대도 군대도 제외 안에 대천벌 주구래.
And then there's another sutra which I think the Hastikaksha Sutra, and that sutra says that if a phenomena had any kind of essence, then the victor, meaning the Buddha, together with the Shravakas, would know that.
천주라스 티수천남 세가나 라신지 주나 아망아미 ngaji che tamje tui taktu ne gore tesu chenam tui taktu nena ane gyuwa menrowa gyuwa nro mena ane nyangal dewa ya tom menjuwa nyangan tesu chena nyangan de menjur kena na ya drowa meme gyur o drowa meme kewa na ya drowa meba menjuwa de drowa meba reseta drowa se tenzing drowa de chagui
So if there was any phenomena that had an essence, then the victors, the Buddhas, together with the Shravakas, would know that, and phenomena which are unchangeable cannot change. They can't change into something else. So they could never become nirvana. Nirvana could never occur. So those who are educated about this should never should never have conceptual elaborations about this. Here, elaborations refers to grasping at things as being established as being real.
아니 유견의 차와샤 투바 땡진 저와 인상 라신지 동바 도대디 동바 땡주고 텐도 담바 신도 사노 송도
So this sutra here shows that if things are empty, they're empty of essence, then they're able to change, and they were quoted above show that that they clearly teach that being empty is the meaning of being dependently originated.
가제 동바 예면은 마도 타바차와다 동아 타제 레다니 녀몬 타제 봉아메 세가라 가제 라신지 주위 동바 여바 마이나 아니다 가소레 라신지 주고레 대부 라신지 주나 저 마도바 시 타바차와 가제 동바 인 예면은 마도 타바차와당 저가 대부 마도바 시 타바차와당 동아 타제 레다니 녀몬 타제 봉아메 세라 ngāra dungā sēbi tār āyā sēbi tā ngāra dungā sēbi tār mā shēba chī dungā sēbi tār chēba tāng ngāra dungā sēbi tā mā shēba chī dungā sēbi tā chēba tāng ngāra lēdā nīmō pāwa māngyū wādi chī pāwa mēba gyūwē kā rāngchī jī chūpa lā gyūjēn jī jīsū mēba chāshē chāsā mēba yīnzāng pāwa gyūwē jikdēn dēbi tānyā tamjā mitēba gyūrē dādi mā lēlā rā shayā.
So the next verse explains how equally, if things were not empty, then the conventions that apply to transcendental or things beyond the world would also be unfitting or would not work. And the verse here says that if there is nothing, if there is no empty, there would be no obtaining of that which is unobtained. There would be no putting an end to suffering, no getting rid of karma and mental afflictions. And then the commentary explains that as that if things were not empty, if there was no no being empty of being established by means of essence, that is, if things were, if there is no, if being empty did not exist, then none of the following could occur. You could not have you could not obtain a result which you had not previously already obtained. You'd have to have formally, without formally obtaining a result, one would not be able to later obtain it. And without previously having put an end, to suffering, having completely eliminated suffering, there would not be a way to later put an end to get rid of suffering. And without the karma and mental afflictions all having previously been abandoned, not being abandoned, then there would be no way to get rid of them, to make them abandoned later. And if that was the case, then all of the conventions that apply to that which transcends the world would also be inappropriate, would not work.
他希望等中给天气团外，电视天气团外做完呢，是吧？原先看个起日，我那让先去做吧，开了呢，那么下他们家没得比起日，他让先去做吧，开了呢，他光都下巴给，电视当，开始去年了，说吧，给他那么下中间了，说吧，跟那下他们家没得把天气日，是吧？看个啥的嘛的。看个电竞者话就通往天的东阿汤，看个电竞者话当通往他的东阿汤，公众他的国巴当拉米特他通往赢是，那就话看个，当把电竞给，当把你电竞者话就为产业监督通为那就话天的呀。
So then this leads into the fourth subdivision of this chapter, which shows that seeing the reality of dependent origination is seeing the reality of the four truths. And it says that if one if one holds or accepts that things are established by means of their essence, then all of the different kinds of presentations of things, of the arising and ceasing of things, the relationship among the truths would become unsuitable or inappropriate and would not work. And therefore, one who sees dependent origination sees suffering, origin, cessation, and the path as well. So a yogi or yogini who sees who sees emptiness, which
那就话看个，当把你电竞者话就为产业监是，当把电竞给全都通往天里。
So a yogi or yogini who sees that emptiness has its characteristic dependent origination, or has its definition or identity dependent origination. So it sees that that which is empty is defined by dependent origination.
天这位产业监督通往天，那就话天呢，当把电竞给。 아니 찬이 전도 토베 난조와 티니 아니 동아당 동아 덴바다 군중 덴바다 고바당 람데 덴바 시고 대다기 아니 태권은 통화 이노.
So such a yogi or yogini sees by seeing that also sees suffering, the origin, cessation, and path. That is, they see the reality of the four truths.
제일 콩라 지가도 파바 3대 배주기 도래 도대체 좀 된데 파비 덴바 15 남라 치다 콩버지 콩밤 슝버지 슝고고 말에 봐. 좀 된대지 좀 된데 파비 덴바 15 남라 좀 된데 파비 덴바 남라 치다를 콩버지 콩밤 슝버지 번지 슝바 너 슝바 슝밤 콩바 준비 레로스 와. 레로스 와. 아니 레레미로. 아니 레로스 와. 레로. 레로스 와. 디루빌로 다니 레레미로. 준비 레로스 와. 아니 shum바. shum바 테레.
shum바. So this is explained in that the Bhagavan explained this in the sutra. The title of this is Arya Dhyayata Mushti Sutra, and that in that 좀 So here, Manjushri says to the Bhagavan, to the Buddha, I'm discouraged with respect to the Four Noble Truths.
Oh, the Jamden Gazawa, Jambe, Kangi, Ani, Duje Tamje, Jujenji, Duje Tamje, Majeva Tomati, Senga Rashiji Majeva Tomati. Ani, Teni, Dungayon Sigre, Te Dungayon Siwa, you know. Kangi Che Tamje, Rashiji Junga Meba Tomati, Gujumba, you know.
So then the Bhagavan replies to Manjushri and says, "O Manjushri, one who sees that all constructs are unoriginated, that one fully understands suffering. One who sees that all phenomena are without arising, that is, they don't arise by means of some kind of essence. That one has gotten rid of the origin. Someone who sees that all phenomena are totally ceased, that one actualizes cessation."
Oh, then Kangi Che Tamje. Sindu Majeba Asana, Sindu Rashinji Majeba Tonga Teni, Lamgomba Yino. Oh, yeah.
So, and one who sees that all phenomena are totally unarisen, that one will has cultivated the path.
Oh, da Jambe, Kangi Papa Denshi Tonga, Papa Dembashi Tonga Teni. Oh, Che Tonga Che Didani Gavao, Che Didani Mikavao, Duguni Ginane, Dungada Kunjun, Dudandang, Gasem, Dunga Dembata, Kunjun Deda, Ginane, Che Dida, Kunjun Deda Mikavao, Che Didani Gavao, Che Didani Mikavao, Che Didani Pamachao. Oh, that. Kunjung gu chöte da migewache. Rwa Gwalamji duwi chöte da Dugungu duwi chöte da migewache. Gwalamji che duwi chöte da de gewache. Rwa Kangani chöte da ni gewawu, Kangani chöte da ni migawu che. Chöte da ni bawa chawo Duguni wu ni denshi na ne Duguni wu de da ni bawa chawa re. Ani 가서래 최대단에 온도 차오 서고다 과람이 오데 온도 차주래 그러와 최대다 스타트는 온도 차오 되니 덴바실라 바 제가라 다 시월 샤와 동아 용수 시와차 사자니레지 품보디 동아지랑 신도 용수 시와차 동아지 랑신도 용서 시에네 동아 메데나 티주 안에 군중방와차 아 군중방에 안에 과방원도 차 과방 군중방와차 봐라 람된 그도 시 방고와 인자 람고바고 시 미도 나바도 버 미체토 시 미도 나바도 버 미체토 가나 대스그래다 냠샤 시기 뭐 미도바 나바 미도바 쓰긴지래.
So then the Bhagavan says that, O Manjushri, one who thus sees the four Arya realities does not think, does not conceptualize as follows, thinking these phenomena are virtuous. Here, the phenomena that are virtuous would be like the cessation and the path that leads to cessation. Such a person does not think or does not conceptualize These phenomena are non-virtuous, meaning referring to the truth of suffering and the origin of suffering. So such a person does not think and does not conceptualize. These phenomena are to be gotten rid of, referring to the origin of suffering and suffering. These phenomena are to be actualized, meaning here the path to the cessation of suffering. These phenomena are to be, that suffering is to be completely understood. They don't think that. They don't conceptualize that. They don't think that the origin of suffering is, the causes of suffering are to be gotten rid of. They don't think that the cessation of suffering is to be actualized, or that the path to cessation, truth of the path, is to be developed. So they don't think or conceptualize in that way. And that is referring to the gnosis that exists within meditative absorption. So that finishes the basic explanation, and then as follows, there's a following section. Thus, those phenomena that can be imagined.
Oh yeah, that chiwa sosa jiwo, rashi meba madobi, oema wa laso wa chiwa sosa jiwo namni, ani pabi demba laso bi cheta da, undo toba na sena, rashi yi chuwa toba na, demba toba mu, rashi yi chuwa toba na, dinzin je. Dinzin je wala tene, tela tene, ani chapa juro, ranjola chapa dang, shanjola tawe, chadang.
So I misspoke. That wasn't the end of the basic part of the text. It's the end of the basic portion of the sutra. And the sutra continues saying, like this, referring to how they shouldn't think or conceptualize. It says that such a person doesn't think or conceptualize those, because those phenomena that can be imagined such a person does not think about or conceptualize those phenomena that can be imagined, because that person does not see them. And it says that when childish ordinary beings or foolish ordinary beings they imagine these phenomena, then if they judge them to be attractive, they develop attachment for them. And if they judge them to be unattractive, they have aversion towards them.
아니 가소래 냠수 멜렘밤 아니 랑자 가서 빵자 메도와 대다 멜렘 라시 유튜브 멜렘바다 메도와 테니 아니 감숨지 샘자라 차바면 주로 맞주로 감숨 탐잼 라시지 마제바당 라시지 주바 나양 라시지 마주바 주마다고다 밀람다고다 찾아다고 통호.
So that person, since they don't see these phenomena, they're not attached to them, they're not averse to them, they don't become confused about them. So that person who does not take up any dharma whatsoever, and does not cast away any dharma whatsoever, and someone who doesn't take up or cast away things at all like that, such a person does not become, their mind does not become attached to the three worlds. three realms. They see that the entirety of the three realms is unarisen, and meaning here again, not arisen by means of some kind of essence. So, and thus they see it as being like an illusion, or like a dream, or like an echo.
최탐제 대답이 라신도 통외 세가라 최탐제 아니 주마다 밀람다 찾았다고 라신지 주와 나양 라신지 주와 동와 완전다 주마다 밀람다 찾았다고 대답이 라신도 통외 아니 섬제 탐제라 란 예수 차바다 콩조와다 차와 주로
So someone who sees the entirety of the three realms as being like an illusion, like a magical illusion, like a dream, being like echoes, such a person, they understand that although they appear, that the things appear to exist by means of essence, that in reality they're not, they don't arise, they have not arisen by means of some kind of essence. And so by seeing all phenomena as having such a nature, they don't become attached towards sentient beings. They don't become attached to all sentient beings, and they're free from animosity towards all sentient beings.
다들 가르래서는 콘도도 차와주로 균전 지지르세나 대지지르세나 리더티 다 단다 밀람다 통화디 최담제 대답을 하신도 통화티 강제수 차바당 콘조와 기위 최대다 라시지 마음이 비치로 대마음이 비치를
So if you ask why that is so, why does that person not become attached to sentient beings or have animosity towards them? It's as follows. He or she does not observe phenomena to which one could be attached or have animosity towards. That means by Rangsingi Mamekpa. Rangsingi Mamekpa. So by nature, Rangsingi Mamekpa sana.
가르스 가요 가르라. 최담제 라신 가르스 막.
최담제.
최담보 라신지 가서 대답에 라신도 퇴외 섬제 탐자라 제수 잡아도 콘트로와 차와 주로 자르바. 다 대지시 세나 디다 대 세가나 아니 가서래 유마달 밀람달 뮤지달 통화티 가사티 강 제수 잡아다 콘트로와 주위 최대 마음이 비치를 된다면 마음이 비라지 최대 라신지 마음이 비치를
So that person who sees the entirety of the three realms as like an illusion, like a dream, like an echo, that person by Rangsingi Mamekpa. Rangsingi Mamekpa sana hakuma.
라신이 마음이 받아서 통조지 최대 라신이 마음이 비칠.
랑신 마음이 비칠. 인다마 마음이 비칠.
라신이 마음이 비칠. 연발 마음이 비칠 바로.
So they don't observe any kind of phenomenon to be attached to or to have animosity towards as having some kind of essence or as being real or being ultimately existing because they appear like illusions and dreams and echoes.
오야 네 셈난가다냐 봐 아이 생각도 다 되는 된다 고문에 셈제 난가다냐 봐 이나 셈 난가다냐 봐 들려서 가도 셈이 왜 셈제 먼저 상 다나 하고 고문도 네 셈제 난가다 냠배 나 셈 난가다 냠배 상제장 전담바 양담바 제수 미동 최 군조장 전담바 양다 제수 미동 군대장 전담바 양다 제수 미동신 최탐제 전담바 동바오写家와 통외 라시지 동바 통외 아니 지난 그 최 강라양 아니 라시지 주문이 미주기 아니 태좀 솜이 깨버려 미샤
So such a person, or because of that, because sentient beings are equal to space. 상기경 양다바 제수 통호. 상계라.
상계장 양다바 제수 전다바 양다바 제수 미동.
전다바 양도.
가데스. 제 심제 난가 단념밤 심 난가 단념배. 봐. 상계장 전다바 양도 제수 양다바 제수 마동.
So sim katannyambe.
sim tamna jude sim duwa. Ajere sim jamen ro sim tan den de hakomodo.
So another way to read this is that that person, because their mind is equal with space, does not even look at the Buddha. They don't even look at the Dharma. They don't look at the Sangha. And because they see all phenomena as being ultimately empty, they don't have any kind of uncertainty about inner or outer phenomena, any kind of certainty about inner or outer phenomena.
That is somni se tesumla jaji ware. Somni set. Right? Yang somni de denzing la jaji. Right? Chu kan la yang somni jabra me se. Somni de damba jimba kita denzing jabra me se. Denzing mebe nyawa lemba me. Nyawa lemba denzing mena ani denzing kunna la be lesa ba me. Lesa ba me be leji pacha la so dem ge nyawa lemba me ba juro. Nyawa lemba me be ani o nyangale dewa togures. Ani ko le nyangale debi ani nyande togure. Status jaman ro sangdo.
So another way to construe the word that was read as uncertainty, this can also be understood as in meaning grasping at things as being real. Because that person doesn't grasp any phenomenon whatsoever as being real, because they don't have that kind of grasping at things as being real, they don't produce, they don't engage in appropriation or grasping, the grasping that activates the propensities that give rise to suffering within the 12 factors of dependent origination. So if if they don't have that kind of grasping at things as being real, then because they won't engage in that appropriation or grasping, then they won't activate the karma, the karmic propensities. And without doing that, without grasping such that the karmic propensities are activated, then they will completely pass beyond misery. They'll achieve nirvana.
Oh yeah, that turned the other. You were turned to the Tandambani. Umawe Kondeji Chotamjela, Rashi Truba, Junsa Jameba Dambana, Kowadang. Nyandeji Chena, Rashi Trua, Junsa Jameba Dambana, Parobo Umawe, Ludilla, or Rashimeba Dambatella, Ludella, Jidendan, Jidelan David, Namsha Chameba, Euro, see, Ani Zobaila. That Zoba Tiki Landu, number Janet, Tedra Gobi, Ribe, Jessu Truba Duza Mebe. That Janet. Tedran gobi ribe, Jessuba duza mebe, Xianlu lan di yindang, di mayimbi, namsha kayang chame be gyun yueba. Dema chua deba la, Rashiji mena megor. Mena Rashiji mena me, Rashiji tumna, ta rwa, 호텔 라신지 주 디련도 넘바 제나 대다고베 리베 제서바 도자야 매베显露了第米金那下看下面被卷要把汤，是吧？显露我嘛为露了，是吧？然后就出不得了。按你第看说的，第米金那下看下嘛前面被卷要把汤，是吧？第在那把见呢，铁锅比日本接受吧都怎么样没白，是吧？日本不接受吧都怎样没白是。显露了第二的地面积那下看上去，按你前面被卷要把汤，
So that then gets to the second subdivision of this chapter, which is a summation of the meaning of the chapter and a exposition or showing the name of the chapter. And here, the first of these is that when
这什么？第年度那把见呢，台湾国比日本接受吧都怎么没事？好过算，顶住了是个是吧？台湾那把见呢，台湾国比是让新面把国比给日本接受吧是顶住了，是吧？都怎么没白？看上个主要日本接受的住呢，安尼怎么出国的是吧？吧？是吧？日本接受的马祖，接受马英，接受大几当开发是送到马博啊，日本接受，你接受马英，接受的马祖，现我都是来送到去，
其实
接受是看上来接受的马祖是学问吧？接受的怎么来点不出国的？当年日本接受马英，接受的马祖。
So here it says that when Madhyamikas, when they teach that that all of the phenomena of samsara and nirvana are without even the slightest bit of being established by means of their essence, then the opponents of Madhyamika, they produce an argument saying that in that tradition, in your tradition, there's no presentation of the worldly and transcendental things. No presentation of that is to be done at all. They present that kind of argument against the Madhyamika. And it would, in reply to that, the Madhyamika says that when engaging in this kind of having engaged in this kind of analysis, and with that kind of reasoning which negates all such things, there's not a single atom of things which withstand analysis that's left over. There's not a single atom that endures this kind of analysis exists. Here, we mentioned this yesterday or previously about the difference between something being able to withstand analysis and something being established as being able to withstand analysis. Here, we would say there's various ways to explain this, but one way is that emptiness is able to withstand analysis, but it's not established as being able to withstand analysis. So that's one way of explaining this. And since there is nothing that's able to withstand analysis, even a particle of matter, those who assert that, those of the other tradition that assert that things exist as real, that they're established as being real, they have the fault of not being able to posit any kind of presentation of things such that one can say that this is or this is not.
Oh yeah, that is the case. That is the case. And now, some people say, "She do temper, temper." And
So within our own system, our own tradition here, not only is it the case that those kinds of faults don't exist, but all of the different sorts of presentations are completely appropriate, and that's the principal topic, which that's what's principally taught by this exposition, this chapter. So this comes down to the fact that this is the principal thing shown by this chapter or exposition, is that the meaning of being empty is the meaning of dependent origination, but it's not the case that the negation of things functioning within as agents and actions, having functional relationships, that is not the meaning of being empty.
아니 우미 출라 매비 남주전 이나 아니 사모동반이라 매박 이니 셔럽전기 이나 아니 동비대 땡중그 텐도 마고 그래 남주전 이나니 추대다도 마와 차이 오마와 남진이 지대단란데베 남샤 강양 처지루라 참미롱오시 년기 푸와라 다랑신지도나 아니 지대란데베 남샤 탐제 참미롱오 세 오마와라 년기 푸와라 코자니 코자다나 강라연 디미지 무슨기 남샤 참미롱오시 아니 랜데 잡먹어봐 코자란 디미지 남샤 무슨 남샤 참미롱 오시 전지 피무고와 담보나라니 티셉도 주발미샤고 티지도 주발미샤고.
So since that's the case, that it comes down to this, if one is a discerning person, intelligent, wishing to investigate, and wishing to having admiration for the Madhyamaka tradition, Madhyamaka system, then one shouldn't. One should state it like that. One should advocate it in the way that it's been done above. But the realists, when they hear that things are not established by means of their own essence, when realists hear that, then they think that in your system, that is your system of Madhyamaka, there's no way to present things of the world or things which transcend the world. And in your system, it's inappropriate to even to do that, to try to present that kind of thing. So they insistently push that kind of fault upon the Madhyamaka tradition. And that being so, one should not one should not insert oneself into their midst from the very beginning without others having to push you into it, saying that for us, in our position, there's nothing at all that
강양 처질라 참마롱 세리 탄주와라 년기 푸와라 다 우마와 롬바기 아니 가시기 병아라와라서 가시기 코자 때나 강라연 디단 디민지 남상 무슨 참미롱 오자 아니 현지 푸미고 봐 담보나라니 티셉도 주고 말해
So some earlier Tibetan scholars had this kind of idea, sort of notion that that in our according to us, within our view, it's inappropriate to make any kind of presentation which identifies things as being this is this or this is not this, that kind of presentation. Some of the earlier Tibetan scholars, that kind of direction, we should not.
마리바세베 타르바토베 당 안에데 니당 셰루 뭐소니 대시미다 발라 대고제 그리바 대시단라베 아니 rabje 니시바데 차대도 쉬워라.
So now we've taught them these 3 chapters this much. The first one being the 26th, which shows the way samsara originates and it can be averted. And then the 18th chapter, which shows, examines the nature of the self and the Chogeba Dak. Shows liberation and emptiness, establishes those well, and then this chapter here, which is 24th chapter, which presents other people's positions with respect to our view and then negates them. So this arrangement of these 3 chapters presenting the way in which samsara operates and liberation can be achieved, and then the 2nd chapter showing liberation and the Tarbadang Chogeba Tarbadang. And so showing the root, how samsara, the root of samsara, what samsara is, and then showing how the 4 Arya realities work, and then establishing the 2 truths. This kind of arrangement of these chapters in this way, and this sequence, is something that His Holiness has recommended.
rabji nidu badi yabo za khoyi zawa tena rabji joja badi yabo jil ma lo di jela ane rabji nishi badi ma lo jana ane kansore pendo shuyong gres right.
So I've followed this kind of sequence of them, and this is not something that one's going to very immediately be able to fully comprehend from simply hearing it once, but it's something that if you can study it in this sort of sequence that it's been presented, starting off with the 26th chapter, and then the 18th chapter, and then the 24th chapter, and gradually work through them slowly and try to understand their meaning, then I think there's a great deal of benefit that can be derived from this. Thus, just hearing this once and one time is not going to be sufficient. It's something that one has to focus on and repeatedly examine. And one has to try to read this again and again. And if one does that adequately, then eventually it's something that can sort of arise within one's mind.
안에 배 손은 봐도 매봐 싸요 말이야. 가산 대성아. 고난 여진이 고난라. 손은 충이 쳐야되라. 태솜 싸우라 민주대. 태솜 세워 점 예자 스바수를 잡아 주로 전에 송안 나신 전에. 손은 충이 사모동반 이거들라. 예담 매담 그 태솜 담에 살 그 말에 가시 태솜지 싸워 점지 예나야. 안에 스바수를 잡아 주 코와라 여기래. 봐. 송안 나신 전에 안에 편도시라 중화레스.
So I think this is very useful for us, beneficial for us, even if we don't fully comprehend it, because as was said earlier in this chapter, there's the verse which explains that those who have very little merit would never even be able to develop some kind of uncertainty about this kind of topic. They would never have the opportunity to hear it. They would never even be able to entertain doubts about it. So having the chance to hear this and to think about it, to examine it, is something that even if one doesn't immediately understand it, it is placing a sort of propensity within us. It's placing some kind of imprint within us that in the future can be awakened, and such that it is definitely possible for us to come to an understanding of this. And therefore, this sort of opportunity is extremely beneficial and useful.
아니 장고라마 정거와 전부 장 가산슈와 나신 전에 동반이 그 치제마로 하셔봐 병하라 왜 따와 총리 에 어디 가소래 병하라 왜 따와 총제 아니 가산슈와 나신 아니 제라 별라 아니 사모 가소래 동반이 그 동에게 왜 매금에 동반이 그 동에게 캐와 많이 봐. 영지 그 많이 봐. 아니 자가를 자주에 패기 패. 되네 대양 안에 산을 소장 주진 그 까니. 아니 제라 아니 가산 시원 나신 전에 다 가수를 배수 침보진이 지진제 매양기 아니 명하를 때네 아니 투수 집이 수시와 텐데 자 인상 내 나오지 또 가야지 자원이 와 말이.
So, as I said previously, even the great Je Tsongkhapa, the great Je Rinpoche master, he initially was misled by some of the earlier Tibetan scholars' interpretations of this topic, and such that he was unable to come to a clear ascertainment of what the meaning of this was. And so, as I mentioned previously, how he had adopted this kind of view that was erroneous. And so initially, after he realized that this view that he had gotten was mistaken, he thought that he searched for someone who could explain it to him properly, and not finding anyone who would be able to do that in Tibet, he decided that he would go to India to look for a teacher that would be able to explain this to him. And he was on his way, but he got to Hlodrak. So he went to southern Tibet, Hlodrak, and he encountered a great adept, Rebbe Dubchin, Hlodrak Dubchin, Rebbe. So he encountered a great adept, a Mahasiddha, and this person told him, don't go to India, that won't be useful. And so instead of doing that, he prayed to Manjushri, to Manjugosha, to assist him in developing this kind of view.
대한 탄주 있다와 야보지 시와 제발라 아니 주자 고마기 되주 야보지 시에 아니 주자 고마기 따와들라 균여봐도 오마오면 내시 된주 지장에 탈을 아니 탄주 있다 때나 배단데야 아니 과와지 차와 준 거래 인장 주자 신라 노정치에 개체물 남배 주자 시기 난 따와 되주 대반이 되주 So
So showing how difficult it was even for Jay Rinpoche to understand this and to get the correct view, it's not something then that we should expect to immediately, easily be able to grasp and to understand. So it's something that requires considerable effort and time to properly gain a proper comprehension of this. In order to do this, it's very useful if one can to study all four major schools of Buddhist philosophy. The different schools, as you go up the ladder, the higher schools have reasons that reject the positions of the lower schools. And if you can understand how it is that as you go up through the different systems, how the higher systems are able to refute the positions of the lower systems, then this is extremely useful to being able to gain an understanding of the prasangika or the consequentialist madhyamika system. And so if you have the interest to do that, it's extremely good to do that.
但这一张空大前辈样个重要的，空前做生长上去比，却大概改了买人心，也儿嘛在谈不困难呢，却特别办成东语音才能重要的，我说的，啊，空前做生长上去比是，切到切长嘛哇，多点哇，生长吧，上去比大话给干在的了，买人心也是照顾的，是吧？ 那人是也是马扎吧，谈不可能呢，他就给打完了，就要这个了，那个东巴了，把他叫完那些人送过来。
남가 통화라 바라기아바.
나가 동물을 바라지는 가갈 태워요 말이야.
무스. 바라기아바스나. Grabbing. So this master of Guntang, a place in Tibet named Jampeyang, said that if you climb the ladder of the four schools' views, that is, you base yourself first on the Vaibhashika system, and then use that to understand, ascend from that to the Sautrantika system, and then you use that to understand the Yogacara system, and then from there to the Madhyamika system. Then it'll work. You'll be able to ascend through the different views. But if you simply try to jump up into the highest view, the prasangika view, without that kind of without those steps, rungs of a ladder, then it's sort of like grasping at space.
等于让他出在西个大瓦，出在西等于出在西个，安尼才蛮能下。我得顶着些的，他开全部下药的，等于让他老庄开全部起来的，是吧？他去推这有的干了，安尼老庄也不是能吃。那老庄扛切哇太阳，安尼让个决定来家里这个扛切完了，安尼年来了这个切的，他开全部的，是吧？
Therefore, so it's worthwhile if you can to come to understand the views that are propounded by all of the four different schools, and to try to understand also the reasoning that they employ to establish the sort of valid understandings of these views. If one can do that, then it's extremely useful. So all of this kind of studying is intended not just to gain some intellectual understanding of this, but to be able to put it into practice. It's all designed for practice, and that's the ultimate purpose of this. So I'm very happy that you've all had the interest to hear this, and I feel like I'm very lucky to have had the opportunity to teach it, and I think that I'm very happy that you have the good fortune to come to listen to this kind of great text.
인자 참하게 된 로조야분하로나 뒤타가이 더 시행시면서
So I'm asking, therefore I'm saying, please make good study of this
또
study.
싫을 때
This
뭐가
PowerPoint.
되나 말해. 또 싫을 때 뭐가 되나. 그래도
Thank you. To say just a few words of thanks for all. At lunch, we forgot to thank someone, and we need to show thanks and appreciation to Venerable Churwang. Given the 26th chapter, it should be known that it's the children who chooses the parents. He did a great job. 3 weeks of sumptuous meals that were prepared with love and care and provided nutrition far beyond the contents. Frank and Kathy, this does not happen by accident. It does not happen spontaneously. The amount of work that goes into preparing the way is substantial. The thanks that we owe you, the appreciation we owe you is monumental. Don't shake your head, because you have provided the opportunity for others to rejoice in the merit that you've created. Thank you. For Venerable George, Venerable, God, I hate to the three Venerables, you've cleared the minds in the morning and you've cleared up confusion in the afternoon. What you've done is great. You know, think about if you got a letter from someone in Japan and it laid out how it is that you could find a treasure beyond belief, and you didn't read Japanese. Very pretty pictures, but you wouldn't know what was going on. Some of you have the great fortune and the good karma to be able to understand the Tibetan directly. For the rest of us, we're dependent upon translators. We are incredibly, what does it take to be a good translator? It takes an understanding of both languages and an understanding of the teachings. One cannot translate what one does not understand. And we have been phenomenally blessed to have had not one but two translators who have the facility with language, the understanding of the teachings, and the ability to maintain, to stay focused. You know, I don't know if any of you sort of drifted in and out, but God knows I did. The translation was phenomenal. Thank you from the depths of my heart. Thank you. For you, the students, this would not have occurred without you. You are the cause. Recall, for the old-timers, emphasis on the old. There were many years that Geshe-la taught Lamrim Chimmel, that he taught Bodhicharya Avatara. He would get up to the chapters on wisdom and he was off to something else. But there came a time when it was proper to teach these teachings. Let there be no doubt, you are suitable vessels for these teachings. You are suitable vessels. Recall, or at least go back and read the 11th of the 18 Bodhisattva vows, the root vows. Read that and then ask yourself, do our teachers break the vows? You are truly suitable vessels. For our teachers, thanks involves recognition and appreciation. I have no way of understanding who it is that you both are. I feel like a mouse on a Mount Meru of method, or a minnow in an ocean of wisdom, so incredibly vast, I can see only a portion of it. You both, I speak a lot. In terms of in terms of qualifications of mastery of the scripture, qualifications of mastery of practice, qualifications in terms of being able to provide advice and guidance which is wholly correct and can never and should never be questioned, your teachers without repute. And the teachings that are given any word of the Buddha is precious beyond belief. Any teaching is precious beyond belief. But these teachings provide a means in this life to escape the awfulness of the suffering that we have. And that, coupled with the teachings on compassion and coupled on the 2 stages, provides us a real opportunity and promise of true and full belief. And I think we need to also thank Geshe Sopala. If you've ever had doubt about the existence of a Buddha, well, you never should. Some of you remember Elvin, an interesting person for certain. One time he was at my house, and with a very, very sad voice, because of his concern about his own actions, he said, "I never looked upon Geshe-la as a bodhisattva. I always looked upon him as a Buddha." Elvin had that one right. And also keep in mind that the Buddha said in the dark days to come, Vajradhara will manifest as our gurus, different in nature, are different in aspect, but the same in nature. Have no doubt that our teachers, our gurus, are Buddhas. From the depth of my heart, thank you. May you live long, may you return often. Thank you.
O gange doni dure gange ne kashi taji yule namja kayang jola chime chozo le kande doche seye nguju loje jawan jazi sanwe zeje ni jo jamgen losan choda jujin doja jesu den tenzen da za wangbo shabden donga shunglo chishin lo gazan doja yon zaman jeden razan sujime denzen da be go minjon doje ngo denshu mande chebon doze lumbo jing sujin sambe jendong ngomba kumjon jeje shera zeja ba zinje goje garwa shabden kalo tata kembe lonyan le kesan dojara pende chujarabu jaden susu kyude chuzin chege luchu niba shabden jo lodo chante kongen lambe kyu chimeribe chidre mise shija jomze mawe zinge je tsuge choje lambo shabden sardan jaje tenden pumba zang dada jenje chive leje kesa loye deburo jinze bo tsunge bawen daru shabden tana jangun lode wambe shungun do zambe chagun yungdo shiru denbe janzen zimba la dada zimba jimbo shabden kanche lobe bema gabe salamide jenje namya mise wende dabdo nabara jawala ngele jeje yonso damjo hasan dabe membe nyelele chumbe regon basan yondu tenye jebo yosa demba chona gendo daje wa joro eje jede lame goze rabde je nagra tele jojo jeba losan deme deme zas deme se dado ne joro eje shigambo yo bezo bume au wanje se je so shi on bezo rege au chi jare goyo ge gowe yus re jabo re dawa shara lubabo lo zamud no balaje jan damine leda luba ngaya da ngaya je yuna da lam jodo damine da damine je da rebo je re wo basan je shin de je mame baye lodo kolo rembo je nubu rembo je zumo rembo lumbo rembo je lambo rembo je dajo rembo je mabe rembo deje baye bumba ge ma Chiwa ma lo ma gara me do ma do be ma no za ma chi sha ma ni ma da rinpo che do cho le na ma je we jang je yu su la da me ye ban jo pu sun zo ba ma zo za xie yi do wa de da ji je za nan ju ba je we ban de la ma Yaba doya yozo dembe nga da zenge mo dambe shangane tiba jibe suje so libara tobe kaji dara ge yondo shingan bo ji ondo je joye dondo je manjo nange da da nyebe senje no je to ze wa chembe ngon jinje lo do zo Rajan Jave Sasu Malava Kando Chiyan Chave Jutuga Seshi Gele Gujo Yeshe No Nguji Trishe Lamezo Daja Dosho Dave Sonde No Gajen Gombo Tenzin Jazo Yu Kutse Meshi Gaja Rabden Jishe Telen Jun Ruba Jinji Chiang Grasa Yanda Yanjun Dodan Deja Yeshe Jume Trame Dendang Tempe Xawe Yitan Lazo Singchu Daja Donsho Ganshen Gombo Tenzin Jazo Yi Kutse Meshi Gaja Rabden Jiti Ju Tomorrow go? Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Okay. Kanchen Gombo Tenzin Jazo Ye Kutse Meshi Gaja Rabden Shedeli Duba Tinjo Kange Ngero Ye Jodo Shewa Najan Nube Same Meyo Gunsan Gebe Bukizon Tabe Jeje Sodena Kanchen Gombo Tenzin Jazo Ye Kutse Meshi Gaja Rabden Shedeli Duba Tinjo Dezo Chugo Jona Chewawe Deye Gonsu Jawe Yeshe Namdan Doche Tonle Mi Ritro Babe Gindi Tanshe Lan Tacha Dunshu Tabe Sodena Kanchen Gombo Tenzin Jat Kutse Meshi Gaja Rabde Jishe Telenje Tuba Chinjelo Sheje Shinde Yu Teche To Teto Nyajaru Vitish Najala Sajala Chotebe Nesambo Kandezo Daja Dojo Rabe Sonde Na Kanchen Gombo Tenzin Jazo Ye Kutse Meshi Gaja Yede Lenje Doba Jinye Lo Tete Jangi Kada Chaje De Mera Rabe Teto Nye Kone Tena Tenzin Jove Tuza Ishe Jenden Tenzun Jazo Lo Daja Dojo Rabe Sonde Na Gombo Tenzin Jazo Ye Kutse Meshi Gaja Rabde Shedelen Jendo Ba Jinye Lo Teta Lune Jaje Chona Mala Shucha Nine Gubezu Mise Nime Zungwa Rana Ve Daso Ganchon Dove Gunje Bo Ngawa Lo San Tenzin Jazo Sho Sansun Meshi Mi Shushi Yondan Daje Nime De Gawan Jazo Yeme Daden Sho Rajan Jawa Zebe Kuru Nindo Ravara Suve La Jinje Tila Kumbe Novi Nimbo Jen Sheba Jijin Lunjin Tinte Zonen Ge San Nam Ge Go Le Jen Nga Si Je Do Ta Ro Shin Tu Jen Jo De Gun Do Ra Ge Se Se Je Se Mo Je Jo Ji Chang Na Ben Me Chin Lam Di Si Jin Da So Yin Ge Su Su Da Me Ka Shin Zhu Ye Je Ve Rang Yen Ne Gu Sa Je Jo Ja So Ta Shin Shu Me Shu Se Je Je Ve Chin La Da Ten De Lo Me Be Den Ba Da Da Ge La San Da Be Me Be Den Ge Ne La Nyo Do Yin Shu Ye Kan Ri Ra Ve Ngo Ve Shin Kan De Ben Dan De Wa Ma Le Jun Kere Se Wan Tenzin Jazo Ye Sha Ve Si De Ba Do Den Jo Je Ju Zin La Ma Gu Tse Ra Den Je Nam Ka De Le Ju Ju Lo San De Ben De Me Sa Su Nye De Me Se Da So Ne Ju Ro Je Chang Chu Sin Chu Rin Po Che Ma Je Pa Na Je Ju Je Je Wa Nyen Pa Me Kwa Ne Kong Do Be Wa Ra Yi Shu Chen Pa Pa Wen Chi Da Chen Pa Da Kong Do San Po Te Yan Ti Te Da Gun Je Je Do Da Lo Chen Ge Wan Ti Da Tang Je Ra Do Ngo Tu Sun Shi Ben Ja Wa Tang Je Ji Ngo Kang La Chu Do Nga Da Ge Da Wan Ti Gun Ja San Po Je Je Ra Do Ngo Ra Yin Ji
哦呀，出去切，这是的嘞。